Have you ever wanted something for so long that you convince yourself, once I get this, everything will finally feel right? You imagine the moment. You imagine how happy you'll be. You imagine how different your life will feel once that one thing finally happens. And then it happens. You get the thing. You achieve the goal. You become the person you spent months trying to become. And somehow, you feel nothing. Maybe you're happy for a few hours, maybe a few days. But then there's this strange emptiness, almost like you're standing inside a dream you spent so long trying to reach, and now that you're finally there, you don't know what to do with yourself. And the confusing part? You feel guilty for being sad, because technically you should be happy. So why aren't you? You weren't only chasing the thing. Sometimes the thing you want isn't actually what you're chasing. You're chasing what you believe that thing will make you feel. You don't just want the new body. You want to finally feel confident. You don't just want the perfect room. You want to finally feel like your life is together. You don't just want success. You want proof that you're not falling behind. You don't just want to become that girl. You want to wake up one day and finally feel like you're enough. And this is where things get complicated. Because when you finally achieve the goal, you get the external result, but you don't automatically get the emotional transformation you attach to it. You thought the achievement would silence your insecurity, but your mind comes with you. You thought the new chapter would make you forget the old one, but your thoughts come with you. You thought reaching the destination would finally give you peace, but peace was never included in the package. And suddenly, you're left staring at something you've wanted for so long, wondering why it didn't change you as much as you expected. Your brain gets addicted to the chase. There's another reason this happens. The human brain isn't always obsessed with having, it's incredibly responsive to anticipating. Think about how exciting something can feel when you're waiting for it. You keep checking, you imagine it, you make plans around it, you fantasize about the moment you'll finally get it. Your brain gets a constant stream of anticipation. But once you have it, the uncertainty disappears. There's nothing left to chase. The mystery is gone. And what felt exciting yesterday can suddenly feel ordinary today. That's why sometimes you don't miss the thing. You miss the feeling of almost having it, the late night planning, the visualization, the one day, the possibility that your life could completely change. And once that possibility becomes reality, reality can feel surprisingly quiet. You lose the version of yourself that had a mission. This one is deeper. Sometimes your goal becomes part of your identity. You wake up thinking about it. You organize your life around it. You tell yourself, I'm working towards something. So even when the journey is exhausting, it gives you direction. Then suddenly, you arrive, and there's no more mountain to climb. For a moment, you don't know who you are without the pursuit. This is why achieving a goal can create an identity crisis. Not because you failed, because you succeeded. The version of you who was desperate to reach the finish line had a very clear purpose. But the version of you standing at the finish line has to ask a completely different question. Okay, now what? And that question can be terrifying. Because wanting something gives your mind a future to live inside. Getting it forces you to live in the present. And the present doesn't always feel as exciting as the fantasy. You romanticize the future. We are incredibly good at creating imaginary versions of our future. In your imagination, everything connects perfectly. You get the goal. You feel confident. You wake up happier. You stop overthinking. Your life suddenly looks aesthetic. Everything makes sense. But real life doesn't work like a movie. You can achieve something incredible and still have a bad morning. You can reach a goal and still feel insecure. You can completely change your life and still have days where you don't know what you're doing. The mistake is expecting one achievement to create a permanent emotional state. But happiness isn't a destination you unlock, it's something that keeps moving. You reach one thing, your brain adjusts, you adapt, and then your attention moves somewhere else. This is called the hedonic treadmill, the tendency to return toward your usual emotional baseline after major positive or negative events. So the thing that once seemed extraordinary eventually becomes normal, not because it wasn't special, because your brain learned how to live with it. And that's actually a good thing, because it means you don't have to spend your entire life chasing bigger and bigger achievements just to feel something. The emptiness doesn't mean you chose wrong. This is probably the most important part. Feeling empty after achieving something doesn't automatically mean you made the wrong choice. It doesn't mean you're ungrateful. It doesn't mean your dream wasn't worth pursuing. And it definitely doesn't mean you should immediately throw everything away and search for another goal. Sometimes emptiness is simply your brain adjusting to a new reality. You spent so long imagining the future that you forgot how to experience the present. So instead of asking, why am I not happier? Try asking, what did I expect this to change inside me? Because that answer might reveal something you were actually searching for. Maybe you wanted validation. Maybe you wanted safety. Maybe you wanted to prove something. Maybe you wanted permission to finally like yourself. And once you understand that, you can stop asking achievements to do emotional work they were never designed to do. The real goal was never the finish line. Maybe the strange sadness after getting what you wanted is trying to tell you something. Maybe you're finally discovering that your life can't be built entirely around anticipation. You can't spend years saying, I'll be happy when, and expect happiness to magically appear at the end. Because there will always be another when. When I look better, when I become successful, when I move somewhere new, when people finally notice me, when I become confident, when my life finally looks the way I imagined. And if you keep attaching your piece to the next milestone, you'll always be one achievement away from feeling complete. So maybe the goal isn't to stop wanting things. Want things. Dream big. Become ambitious. Change your life. But don't make your future responsible for giving you an identity. Don't make one achievement responsible for making you love yourself. And don't make the next chapter so important that you forget you're already living one. Because sometimes the saddest moment isn't when you realize you didn't get what you wanted. It's when you finally get it and realize you were expecting it to save you. And maybe that's not a failure. Maybe it's an invitation. An invitation to stop living for the moment when your life finally begins and start noticing that it already did. Because the version of you who spent all that time dreaming about this life, she didn't need you to become perfect. She just wanted you to finally be here.